If you've kept in touch with the social media page of TEDxGIISDubai, which you absolutely should have, by the way, the content team is killing it, the first impression that most of you might have had of me was probably this. Now that's the poster, and beside that you can see a bunch of comments. Now I don't think I need to explain what chopped means, but if I had to, that means unflattering. Now, if you showed the same picture to the Ajitesh of exactly 17 months ago, sure, he would have been surprised to see himself on that poster. He would have been grateful for the experiences and lessons that brought him here. But even more so than that, he would have been surprised at these people who commented in support of him in the way they know, by making fun of me. Who commented in a way that I gained confidence, and the same people who I've spent the last 2 years with growing. In fact, one of them is sitting among the audience right now to cheer me on, Chris. You can see him right there. Moving on to another unflattering picture. Okay. This is... Okay, finally, that works, thank you. Speaking of unflattering pictures, here's another one that I believe I took exactly 1 day before my first day at school. The purpose of this picture was to show off the fact that my new school had hoodies as part of their school uniform. To my friends back in Kuwait, who I missed a lot, but I didn't want to look like I missed them, so I told them I was excited to start a new life, in a new country, at a new school. Then came the first day. And lo and behold, it couldn't have chosen a better day to come up with. My first day in my new school was my 16th birthday. It was a day that I wanted to spend the most with my friends back in Kuwait. The people who I saw as constants in my life back then and forever. The world that I've meticulously crafted over the last 16 years back in Kuwait, where I was considered a front runner to lead the student council in my old school, came crashing down on me. However, I soon quickly realized that when one world comes crashing down, that doesn't mean your whole life's over. The same people that commented shocked on my post were the ones who ensured that I didn't eat lunch alone. They were the same people who accepted me into their lives. They were the same people who created a space for me, and they were the same people who went through this beautiful journey of highs and lows in the 2 years since I've come to the UAE. Now fast forward a few months, and I thought life was smooth sailing. Okay, I haven't gotten there yet. I thought life was smooth sailing. I thought, I found a new friend, I found family, I don't need to worry about anything. With the way I'm saying this, I think you know there was something to worry about that's coming up. I vividly remember there were selections for a very special MUN in my school. I'll come back to which one it was in a bit. And considering the fact that there was less time till registration, the selection committee set a very special and clear rule with no exceptions. You absolutely had to have prior experience to participate. Now I was an MUN kid. I wore that on my chest with honor. So when my friends saw me and they heard about the selection process, they naturally asked, Ajitesh, I've never done an MUN before. The last time our school organized an MUN was 3 years ago. How are we supposed to get experience if we aren't taught one? And as a noble hero on the verge of finding his purpose, that's what I thought of myself at least, I said, okay, I'll try to do something about it. And then I moved on. This was a picture that I took at the MUN that I attended. And you remember when I said there was something special about it? The thing that was special is that it was an MUN hosted by this very school, TEDxGIISDubai. It was the 2025 edition of the GIIS MUN. Now my friends knew that I was half decent at MUNs. But unfortunately, disappointing my reputation, I lost. Spectacularly, in fact, it wasn't close. And I remember sitting right there when I found out I lost, where my parents are sitting right now, surprisingly. That's a coincidence. But this devastated me. It made me realize that when I build my identity around one defining factor, when I realize that I'm not the best at it, it hurts. After I moved on, and it took quite a while, trust me, something else struck me. What if, instead of me, another delegate had gone? A delegate who did not have experience then, but if a delegate who, if were given the right direction and the right guidance, would have gone instead of me and won an award. That is what made me realize my purpose. The fact that the promise I made to the friends who created a space for me in their lives was to create a space for them where they wanted to be. This was when my third space evolved from a place where my friends created from me, between a world where I thought I would spend the rest of my life in back in Kuwait and a world I was beginning to build in UAE. This is when it evolved from being a space built for me to a space that I wanted to build for others. Fast forward a few months and the investiture ceremony of my school came. With gratitude to my mentors, my parents, and my friends, who are my family, I became the head boy at my new school. Now this, what comes next, is the proudest moment that I've had in my life. It's a collage of everything the Council of 25-26 achieved under our tenure. We organized the first ever edition of TEDxGIIS Abu Dhabi, which gave opportunities to 4 student speakers and multiple other exceptional speakers, including your very own Advika and Aaron, who've done an exceptional job till now. We've also had the inaugural edition of the GISMUN in Abu Dhabi, with the junior edition coming soon, through which we've trained over 160 delegates across the school who did not even know what an MUN was. Thus, my third space evolved. It became a space where others could grow. Now you might be asking me, Ajitesh, you've been speaking for so long, I don't know who you are. Why should I care about your life story? That might be a burning question that all of you have if you're still listening, which I'm surprised at. The fact is, throughout the 1.5 years I've spent in the UAE, I've learned a lot about third spaces. From what was built for me by my friends, to what I promised them I'd build. That is what a third space is. I still vividly remember during my investiture ceremony, I made them a promise, alongside the promise that I made them regarding NMUN. I promised them that above all this grandeur, I am nothing but a student who wishes to give back to the people who gave me everything. And that is what made me realize what a third space is. The point of a third space is to not grow alone. It is to ensure that everyone who has accepted you grows alongside you. It is not created of its own volition. The point of it is to create. It is to be hunted, chased, and discovered till it's complete. It is to be completed till there is a space such that the younger version of you and others just like the younger version of you would not have to go through the same things you went through. The point of a third space is to build a door where you wish someone had opened one for you. Thank you. This is Ajitesh Veeramachaneni. Have a wonderful day ahead.